Hi folks, it's Danny at Bradley James Classics, and I'm bringing you a non-classic car today, but it is actually a very handsome Jaguar XF, and this particular model is called the Premium Luxury, and it's from late 2009. It's a 3-litre turbo diesel with a 6-speed sequential gearbox. Well, I say sequential gearbox, you have the flappy paddles, F1 shift on the gears on the steering wheel, plus you've got this very ingenious little rising gear knob that comes out of the dashboard on startup, where you select your gears, and you can drive it in full automatic, or you can flick through the gears yourself. It's a beautiful colour. It's a very dark metallic, I'll describe it as an Oxford blue colour, a beige interior, and very attractive brown leather across the top of the dashboard. I'll show you that when we get inside. When you get up close, and especially in the sunlight like today, you'll see there it's a very attractive metallic blue colour which looks great. The wheels have been refurbished recently because they did have a few chips on them, and the previous owner who traded this who wanted an old classic Jaguar, was prepared to sacrifice his modern Jaguar, looked after the car very well, and you can certainly see by little touches like having the wheels refurbished. The car itself will leave us with a full year's MOT, and we always put the cars through the workshop. As we have done with this one already, we do a little pre-sales inspection, so there's no annoying warning lights. Everything that works should work. We've taken it for a test drive. It's beautiful to drive. In fact, the V6 turbo diesel engine, pretty explosive power, but remarkably will do 42 miles to the gallon on average, which I think is very respectable for a car of this size. Having looked into these cars, there's a lot of aluminium in them, so despite having these large proportions, they're actually quite light, and that really helps the MPG. Now I'm going to get up close and I'm going to walk around the car with you so we can see it together, and I will share with you any imperfections in the bodywork as if you're having a look around with me, and I will just tell you what I'm seeing. So let's start with this offside rear wing. I can't see any serious scrapes or certainly any dents in this one, and the roof is in good shape, looking good. The rear passenger door, getting in close, if I'm being very fussy, there's a little it's very difficult to see in this bright light, but it's a very shiny car and it's a very bright day, but there's a small parking dent there. Passenger door, probably a minor little parking mark here, but not a dent. Very nice through the front wing. That's excellent condition front wheel. As I said, they've been refurbished in recent times. Now the car's covered 91,000 miles, which actually for its year, it's just coming up for 10 years old, maybe 11 years old this year, so it's done slightly less than average mileage. Looking at this front bumper, that looks quite respectable. If I get in very close, I'm going to notice the odd stone chip, but nothing looks untoward. Looking at the front, it looks in good shape. And again, if I get in close, actually that's probably just a few flies on there rather than stone chips. Front parking sensors, and I've got a feeling there's something to do with the sensing system there for lane control. There's quite a lot of technology built into these modern Jaguars. Certainly the cruise control is very advanced, as is all the other driving aids. Perfectly good front wheel there, no chips on the rims. A good front bumper. Again, I'm getting in very close. There's a very minor little scratch there if I get in very close, and again very closely here. That passenger side door looks to be pretty good. Very minor mark there, as is there a very minor mark here. This rear passenger door on the near side looks to be in good condition, as does this rear panel into the back bumper. And if I get in very closely down here, there's a very slight mark down there and a very minor one there. And the back bumper looks to be in good order. They've got a huge boot in these cars, and this is nice because somebody's bought a sort of a rubber liner to go on top of the carpet. You can see the carpet's under there, and there's a very deep boot. All in good order. So actually, as I look around the car, I would say the bodywork presents very nicely. Certainly for the age of car, I don't think there's going to be any major disappointments with the way it looks on the outside. Let's have a little look in the back. This is where it's rather nice. So we've got this trim level, which is premium luxury. They're nice beige leather interior and sort of a perforated leather in the middle of the seats. Beige carpets and a light headlining, and there's a brown leather top and there's a walnut wooden panel here. I'm now going to go and sit in the driver's seat. There's lots of interesting gadgets for gadget fans in these cars. There are 2 keys with it. There is the original handbook from Jaguar, including the all-important service book and a guide to everything works. Now, this is the bit I like. You get these sort of remote keys, and there's 2 of them. There's a place to park the key down there if you want to keep it somewhere. We've got this little pulsing red button here, which looks great. And let's have a quick look inside. The great thing about these Jaguar cars, and I personally find them to be in the luxury range when it comes to fit. I mean, I know, heaven knows, German cars certainly have cornered the market with the executive end, but I think Jaguar still build a really, really good car. This looks superb in here. A combination of, in this case, brown leather with this aluminium onto some walnut and then some beige leather underneath. Looks super smart. All of this here looks such good quality. A deep pocket to put, in that case, there's the locking wheel nut. There's a auxiliary in. And one of the great things with this car is that when you press this button, the first thing that happens is, oh, in that case it's just started the engine. But what I did want to show you was, look at those, the cool feature of those vents all opening up electronically. You may not have noticed, but this knob rises up for you to pop it into gear, and then as away you go, and then push down and across gets you into sport mode. So that really is very, very high quality. This is all metal and it looks wonderful and it looks high end. You've got a screen. Most modern cars seem to incorporate a screen these days. This particular car being the premium luxury, it does have a DAB radio. There's air conditioning, there's heated seats. You have front and rear defrosting screens. One of the great things about Jaguars, I think they were probably owned by Ford when they invented those demisting front screens. They work really well, and this is a touchscreen model. Plenty of cubby holes. There's a lighter in there and an area to put your drinks. You have to have a cup holder in all modern cars, obviously. All very smart. Electronic handbrake. Very, very smart. This is brown leather. I've got a slightly low battery in one of my smart keys, so I'm glad it's got that warning system. There's your 92,000 miles in the middle, and just panning across here, we've had a little sit in the car together and we've started the engine, so let's turn that off. And then I can finish up by basically telling you, having driven this car, they are dreamy to drive. They certainly go very, very well. Very impressive with the 60 speed in them on a very high top end for those who do. But most impressively, a large car like this, as I mentioned earlier, managing 42 miles to the gallon. So a final little look around this Jaguar XF. 91,000 miles from late 2009. It's a beautiful deep Oxford blue, metallic I would describe it as. Very, very beautiful inside. Very high level of spec. In fact, from having had a quick look, it looks as if all of the XF models do come with a very good specification. But I mean, there's some extras in here which are particularly nice, and let me just show you. There's the ability to set up memory seats here. You have electric front seats, as you would expect, electric mirrors and windows. On the steering wheel itself, there's the ability to work with the infotainment system. I think I mentioned to you the ability to change gear with these paddles at the back, and stepping back in a very, very smart, luxurious package. I personally think this colour scheme is lovely. Well, I hope this walk around video has given you an idea of how nice this car is. I believe it's been well looked after and well maintained. It certainly drives very well. It will come with a year's MOT from us, and it will go through our workshop just to make sure she's good to go. And I'm very happy to recommend this particular car, having been driving it myself today. An absolute dream to drive. I personally think the shape of these cars are phenomenal. I know I prefer them to BMWs of the same level. I'm thinking of 5 Series and Audi A6s and the E-Class Merc. I think, for me anyway, the Jaguar XF certainly is the most handsome out of all of those. Almost coupe-like appearance, and I remember when they very first come out thinking, I can see how these are related to the Aston Martin family, and I'm pretty certain that there's a certain Mr. Callum who's behind the design of this car and is also involved in Aston Martin. So absolutely beautiful British car, and she's in stock now. We offer a part exchange service. Ideally, perhaps you'd like to give us a classic car, but otherwise we listen to all part exchanges. We offer a delivery service where needed, and we are certainly more than happy to have you come and view this car and take her for a drive and see if she's for you. Thank you for looking around this Jaguar XF from 2009, 91,000 miles. Please get in contact if you'd like to know anything else. Thanks folks, it's Danny at Bradley James signing out.